Hey, how are you? So today I'm here in Andorra, and Andorra is a pretty cool country. It's a small little country that you can find between France and Spain in the Pyrenees Mountains. And it's kind of cool because it is in the whole European region, but it's not a member of the EU. So that's led it to have some pretty interesting like tax situations. So, you know, a lot of wealthy European people have used Andorra as a way to hide money. No idea how they did that, but apparently Andorra has been used as a place to hide your money in if you're wealthy. And it's really pretty. Check this out. Yeah, so I'm in the capital city, or you're really stretching it to call it a city. It's more like a big town. And the town's name is Andorra la Vella. Hola. And that roughly translates to, Andorra of the Valley. And that's because the whole town sits in the middle of a valley between mountains on either side. So it's pretty cool. So check out the drone footage here, but you'll see that like this is just a small little town covered by mountains all around it, and it's kind of unique like that. Voila. Yeah, so I'm just walking to the downtown now. It's a pretty small, like you can walk the whole town in just a day. No, you can walk the whole town in just about an hour. So it's I've seen a lot here because I've been here for 2 weeks, so I've seen pretty much the whole town. But the other cool thing that Andorra has is a ton of hiking. So you see all the mountains everywhere, like check that out there. Some pretty steep mountains, but you can grab a bus, takes you to like a small little town outside the main city here, and do some pretty great hiking. I think I'm gonna do that tomorrow and just kind of see what I find. No real plans, but really for the last 2 weeks I've just been walking around the city, meeting people. Oh yeah, and that's the other thing, people here are so friendly. Like I've met a ton of little shop owners that have bars, restaurants, and they seem to be from all over the world. Like my favorite bar that we'll probably end up going to is run by a family from Argentina who just moved here like 4 months ago. And then I met a guy who runs a Turkish restaurant. Super friendly dude. I think, especially for Europe, where we are between Paris and Barcelona, you know, love Barcelona, love Paris, but the people here are just a lot friendlier than either of those places. So we're coming up right on the downtown. You can see in a minute, we'll be at a bridge. And I guess, you know, there's not too many famous places here, but some of the statues you see are of like a clock tower. The clock tower is right there. We'll go check it out now. So this is the bottom of the valley. They have a big mall here, a bunch of restaurants. There's a river that runs through the city, kind of splitting it in half. Oh yeah, check this out. This is the kind of big clock statue there. Sometimes if you Google Andorra, that will come up. Ah yeah, and here's the other famous-ish thing is this Andorra la Vella bridge there. It just says Andorra. But yeah, if you end up Googling Andorra, you'll probably see that or that, the clock tower. Yeah, cool place. Kind of breezy right now. It rains a lot here, which I kind of like. It's super just peaceful. There's really not much going on. And after being in Barcelona for a few weeks, it's nice just to chill out and kind of take things slow, because that's honestly what I've been looking to do, and I just hadn't really found the time to do that. Barcelona was just so fast, bang 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 bang, and then I had a whole bunch of stuff happen at work, and now it's just much nicer to chill out here for the last few weeks. So if you watched my what is Andorra video, you might know some of this stuff. But Andorra is the only country in the world whose official language is Catalan. And Catalan is kind of like you just kind of think of it, I mean, if you speak Catalan, don't get mad at this, but it's really just like French and Spanish taken together and smushed. And that's Catalan. It's spoken in the Basque region in Spain, so that's kind of like the northeastern part of Spain, and up into Andorra. So yeah, Andorra is the only country in the world whose official language is Catalan. Although most people here speak at least Spanish and French. Not a ton of English, but I can get by in Spanish. I do want to learn French at some point, but that may take some time. This is kind of cool. They have stuff up on the road here. I have no idea what that is for. Oh, car coming. But it's kind of like flowers hanging from the road. Cars. Yeah, it's kind of cool. So this is about the downtown area. Today is what day is it today? Oh, today's a Wednesday. Today's a Wednesday. Pretty quiet for a Wednesday. They do, one kind of interesting thing is they have a bunch of like football pitches where people come up and play. A lot of like youth football goes on up here. Oh yeah, I was staying at a hotel last week and they had a whole bunch of teams from the football league playing together. Got quite loud. So ended up switching hotels. This one is much better. This is kind of like a little indoor mall type thing. Ooh, I bought a COVID test there. The pharmacy. Lots of bougie stores around here. So like, we're coming up to the main promenade now, but there's a whole bunch of like fancy shops where you can buy fancy clothes, fancy things, fancy, what do you call them? Like wallets, handbags, stuff like that. Like here. Here's a Gucci store, Gucci and Prada store. Let's check it out. So right above, I don't know if you can see, we got some Prada stuff there, some Gucci stuff there. Oh, it's also Ray-Bans right there as well. Lots of fancy stuff around here. But that's really not for me. I'm not really into fancy stuff that much. Lots of perfume places. Yeah, it smells like perfume pretty much everywhere. Like this, check out this place. Definitely, you can smell it from here. You can smell it from the outside. So we'll avoid that. Yeah, this is the downtown area. Big walking street. No cars allowed on the street. People just kind of walking around. It's pretty laid back. One thing that I have noticed here is that there really aren't too many young people. And I guess that kind of makes sense if you think about it. Like, what would there be to do? What would there be for young people to do here? Probably not much. Like, aside from, like, really there's not much job opportunities from my understanding if you don't want to work in the tourist industry. I think, Andorra does make a ton of tobacco and they ship that out. But like, if you don't want to work in tobacco or tourism, why would a young person stay here? I probably would leave. So I met a dude who works in Andorran insurance, something like that. And all his kids left. So he raised his family here, but then all his kids left to go to university in Spain and they never came back. Which kind of makes sense, but like, I'd come back, I suppose. I like very laid back things, very laid back places, and this place is very laid back. Okay, here's the thing. So this here spells Andorra, if you get it from the right angle. I think we're missing the A right now. Oh, there it is. But yeah, that's another place. People just kind of hang out in the square. There's really not much to do here. But I kind of like that. I don't like doing too much. Oh, one other cool thing about Andorra. So I looked a little bit into the tax stuff, or why Andorra is such a tax haven. And one, they don't have any income tax here. So if you have a business here, all the money you make from that business, you can keep. And two, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, no taxes when you buy stuff. So you can see like, and I'll show you, there's a whole bunch of like electronic stores, luxury stores. Actually now that makes sense why there's a ton of luxury stores here, but like electronic stores, camera stores, computer stores, watches, like this guy, all this type of stuff, like fancy electronics and watches. So you can buy that stuff here and not pay any tax, which that's kind of cool. Like in the States, you want to buy a computer, sometimes you pay 400 bucks in tax. That's pretty ridiculous in my opinion. Oh, looks like I found the only advertisement banner in Andorra. That's cool. So you can kind of see how we're in the valley here, just surrounded by mountains, and it's kind of nice. Oh yeah, that's another thing I was going to talk about. There's a ton of construction going on in Andorra. So if you can see that building off in the distance there, they're building some luxury apartments, and there's a whole bunch of building going on downtown, which makes me think that, you know, people are expecting demand to rise in Andorra, which I guess makes sense. Like, people don't like paying taxes, people want to hide their money, so I suppose Andorra is a place for that. No idea how you do it though, but nonetheless kind of cool to see active building going on in downtown. Like, sure, you see that in other cities, but it's very noticeable here because the city's, one, small, and two, there aren't a ton of big buildings. So the two really big buildings here are being built currently. Wow, check that out. It's a pretty good view of the mountains there. So, not sure if I mentioned this already, but there's really only two ways you can get to Andorra. It's either through Toulouse in France or from a bus in Barcelona. So you can take either a bus from Toulouse or Barcelona, or you can drive. So, no airport in this country, which might be unique. I mean, like, let me think. How many countries really don't have an airport? Not too many. Not too many. This is the first country I've ever been to that does not have an airport. So that's kind of cool. That's something. Oh, yeah, check this out. So we're coming up on a park. That's a building. Looks like some fancy sort of architecture in that building. Oh, another thing I love that I've really been liking about Andorra is that there's a bunch of parks all around. Oh yeah, I don't know if you saw that. That's a fancy car, maybe a Lamborghini. Kind of missed it. But that leads me to another thing. So yeah, here we are in the park. Nice little park with a slide up there. Big fancy building behind that. Why does it look like that? No idea. Oh yeah, but one other thing that I've been loving about Andorra is just the cost of living. Like, compared to Barcelona, it costs probably half or a third of what you'd spend in Barcelona. So like, hotel rooms during the week, 40 bucks, 60 bucks on the weekend. In Barcelona, it was like 200 bucks a night. That's crazy. That's why I mainly stayed in hostels in Barcelona. But ooh, skate park, that's pretty cool, that building. But yeah, accommodation, super cheap relative to the other cities around it. And food's pretty cheap too. Like I've been eating great for like €5 a day on just stuff I bought from the supermarket, which is pretty good. And then you can go out to get a big beer for like €2 at a bar. Compared to the US, that's crazy good prices. Oh, they got some free water there. Just like a very livable city, very, very nice place to live. And I like it. Like, yeah, I'd consider living here. I don't know if I could, because I'd have to figure out some visa stuff. But wow, it's absolutely gorgeous. It's a pretty cool house up there in the mountains. Wow, really nice. So it is kind of a weird dichotomy to see just like normal people living and then sprinkled in with a bunch of sports cars. Just kind of interesting. That's what makes it feel like just like an interesting place. I know interesting is such a vague word, but that's kind of what I'd use to describe Andorra. It's interesting. It's relaxing and interesting. So if you're looking for a place to go and you don't like partying that much, I mean, I'd consider Andorra. I mean, I'm definitely gonna be back. I'm not that much of a big partier at all. Never been. I like chill stuff. And Andorra definitely is very chill. So from talking to a few people here, the culture is mainly Catalan culture. I'm kind of in a pickle here. Let's get out of this first. So it's mainly Catalan culture, and that means like you get a lot of jamon, ham, fancy Spanish hams, chorizo, like sausage, basically like Spanish food. One of my favorite foods, types of food. And then you have a whole bunch of people who have recently moved to Andorra. And so the kind of vibe I get is that the people who are born in Andorra don't necessarily love people moving in to Andorra, but you know, to me, it makes a ton of sense because the people moving in are starting businesses, starting adding more to the economy, adding more to the life, to the culture. But I guess these people kind of feel like, or the people born in Andorra may feel like they're kind of losing their identity. But Andorra was so small to begin with, I'm not really sure if it even had identity to begin with. Okay, here's something. It's like a plaza. That's a face. That's cool. Yeah, we're back on the main walking street. We're actually pretty close to the end of the city, so within this video, we've pretty much walked from one end of the city to the other. It's just right up there. As you get closer to the ends of the city and more into the mountains, a lot of the houses are made from stone, which are really cool. Here you can kind of see some of the stone buildings. Okay, so now we're gonna go to one of my favorite places that I've been since I got here. It's called Bar Aurelis. Don't know how you pronounce it, but I'll pop it up here. And super nice people. This is a family from Argentina. Just opened the bar 4 months ago. It's great food, super friendly, great atmosphere. Here it is. Let's go check it out. Bar Aurelis, something like that. This is my favorite place in Andorra. So that was the bar restaurant. Great time. Not sure if I got the guy on camera, but that's Luis. I've been running into him for about weeks now at this point. Nice guy. I can only understand about 50% of what he says. So that kind of makes the conversation interesting. If you're ever in Andorra, you should definitely check out the Bar Aurelis. No idea how you say it, but it's great. Sandra and David, they run it. The food's delicious. That's probably my favorite spot in all of Andorra. Oh wow, check out this view. Wow. The mountains in the evening are beautiful. Yeah, so that's Andorra la Vella. Cool place. Check it out. See you in the next video.